Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on Comics from the Future. This is such a special episode because it is Friday the 13th. It is the day before Free Comic Book Day. So, just a really big Friday. So, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. In case you don't know, my name's Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. I totally forgot it's Friday the 13th. We should have had like a horror theme or something.
There's too many holidays going on
There's
at
too
once.
many things happening right now. So, yeah, like Jason said, we have a brick and mortar store in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, we will be celebrating Free Comic Book Day tomorrow. So, if you're local or if you want to make the drive, we will make it worth your while. We're going to have free comics. It's going to be great. So, but we're doing everything. We're still doing our show. We're still doing our Sunday show.
Yep.
So we do something, we do it all. So before we get started, if you have not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take a second to do that before we get started. Our community is growing so much, so fast, and honestly, I can't tell you all how many awesome things we have planned to come out in the next few weeks and months. We're working on so many behind the scenes things. They're all going to come flooding at once. Trust me on that. So take a second to subscribe, get notifications. What you're going to see here in this video is previews for comics coming out in about a month from now. Most of these are set to release on September 9th. So these are open order, meaning that if you ask your shop, let them know by Sunday. FOCs are starting to be due by Sundays now. For us, Sunday at 6 p.m. If you let your shop know by then, you're pretty much guaranteed your order. Get as many as you want. All that good stuff. So
this is the best time to order. People who wait till after Sunday, you only get the comic if they ordered over the number of people who ask. So this is the show for smart people.
The show for smart people.
Yep. When you place your orders.
We still need a shirt that says that.
I always thought it was Jeopardy, but I mean, this works too.
No.
All right, well, let's make this fun. Also, take a second and put in the comments what Free Comic Book Day title you're most looking forward to checking out tomorrow for Free Comic Day. And with that, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, our first segment is featured comics. These are the comics we think most people sort of want to hear about. We have plenty more we're going to talk about afterwards and a whole lot of awesome variants to show you. But let's start with our featured ones. The first one up is from Dark Horse. It's rare we start the show on an indie book, but I think this one might be of interest to some people. It is called Mazebook. And look at the cover. You can already see the maze right built into the gentleman there. So this is written and the art is done by Jeff Lemire. I'm sure many of you know who Jeff Lemire is. For those of you who don't or need a refresher, he's the person who was behind Sweet Tooth, behind Black Hammer, tons of great stuff. He often he just writes his books and he'll do sort of the variants.
Yeah.
But he is a really good artist in his own right, particularly to sort of the weird cerebral books. So here's the premise to this one. It is about a lonely building inspector who is trying to overcome grief after the sudden death of his daughter, who was obsessed with puzzles. So one day he gets a phone call and it's a girl on the phone claiming to be her and that she is still alive in some way and trapped in a labyrinth.
Wow.
So he has to go on a quest through the city with this unfinished maze that's from his daughter's notebook. It somehow leads him on a quest through the city to try to find, is she really alive? Can he cope with her death? Can he possibly bring her back? So, I mean, that's about as Jeff Lemire as it gets.
Yeah. It sounds more like kind of his earlier indie work with Essex County and Underwater Welder. Kind of a little Twilight Zone feeling to it.
Yeah, so I think this sounds really cool, and this is one I think it's going to fly under the radar, and people aren't going to order it, then they're going to hear how good it is and wish they had. So we thought we'd start the show off with this one today. So here is the A cover by Lemire himself, and then check out this B cover by Sorrentino.
Really
so
cool.
I'm guessing that's our main character.
It looks so real.
Yeah.
It's like, is this somebody?
So...
Okay, big new Batman Fear State event is happening. So this is Batman number 112. And Fear State, you can see it up there in the corner, is going to run through issue 117. So, few issue arc here. And I really like, just a quick note, in Fear State, you can see in the A in the first one, or maybe in both the A's, little silhouette of Batman within the font, so it's really cool. All right, so Fear State is going to be a horror-themed Gotham City event. It's going to unify the plot lines that have started for us in DC's Future State and Infinite Frontier. So the big thing about this is it's going to continue Scarecrow's vision of a fear-controlled Gotham, and the mayor's mission to protect the city via his deal with the magistrate. So lots of little plot lines that have been going on are culminating in Fear State. This is going to run through many titles, just like Joker War did. It's going to influence a lot of different series. So really big Batman event. You're probably already reading Batman, but if for some reason you've gotten off of it, this will be a great place to start again or start for the first time.
I think it's funny that Scarecrow's like, I'm going to control the city through fear, and Batman's like, no, that's my job. I use fear. They're just squabbling about who uses fear better or something.
That's what this is really about.
I do like what Tynion's done with Scarecrow. Scarecrow, he's always been sort of an A-list Batman villain, but they've also made him silly at points.
Yeah.
And he is anything but that. He is really, really scary again, which is great.
And not to dwell on this for too long, but correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I believe issue 117 is going to be Tynion's last issue of Batman, so let's hope he puts it out with a bang. I mean, every single thing he's ever done for us comic book fans has been super high quality, and I imagine he's going to end his last Batman arc on that same high level, so tune in for that at the very least.
Yeah, he's definitely set up so many new and big characters.
Yeah.
It's like, they're here to stay. People have already grown so attached to them.
Yeah. All right, so speaking of Scarecrow, let's check out our B cover by Jorge Molina. This is your cardstock variant. It's going to be $1 more than the A cover typically. Maybe $2 sometimes. But okay, yeah, this is for Batman 112.
And I'll tell you, having been reading all the Batman stuff and read Fear State Alpha and all, you see he's got the needles for fingers. He uses those. He gets in your head.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Does he use a straw hat for anything?
Just keeping the rain off of him.
Okay, that's good.
You know, he's been watching a lot of manga lately, so.
Next up is one I'm super excited about. Black Manta is getting his first solo miniseries. I love Aquaman, and I love all of Aquaman's supporting cast, and Black Manta is one of the coolest villains in all of DC. Such mystery still surrounds that character. So they are doing a 6-part limited mini-series about Black Manta, spinning out of the Aquaman 80th anniversary 100-page special. So we'll get a little introduction to this story in there, where in this, Black Manta is looking for a mysterious metal, which, I mean, definitely gives me some death metal vibes with the nymph metal and everything.
DC and their mysterious metals.
They love their mysterious metals that make weird noises and summon bat demons. But this is cool, too, because this is by Chuck Brown, who was and still is the writer and co-creator of Bitterroot. So DC's getting him in here to do a pretty big thing. It sounds like they've got a lot of big plans for Aquaman and his cast in here. Plus, this has the first appearance of a new character named Torrid and the villain Devil Ray. So they're adding even more characters to all of this. I think it sounds super, super cool. So this is our A cover, and then we also have this awesome Sanford Greene from his Bitterroot pal doing this variant for Black Manta.
So do you think Black Manta is going to be sort of the hero of this book?
I don't know. So Black Manta's thing is, his classic thing was he was kind of a treasure hunter, like an ocean treasure hunter. And it sounds like, for the most part, he's just going after this metal. Maybe it was in a sunken ship or something. But I have a feeling he's going to play an anti-hero role, because they've really built him up. I mean, Aqualad's his son. He's kind of got more responsibility now. But I think this is going to be really, really good. Definitely want to. I'm going to get all the covers for this.
All right. So another big one is Conan the Barbarian issue 25. This is actually the 300th issue of Conan Legacy. Yeah, 300 issues since the 1970s when Roy Thomas and Barry Windsor Smith started off bringing Conan into the comic world.
I just have this hanging out beside me right now too, so
just hanging out beside
Well,
you.
just wait to
just sitting right next to me.
Just toss it over your shoulder. Get
We
back
gotta
to it
show
later.
it off.
You mean this Conan?
That is awesome.
You
So
mentioned
yeah,
300 issues.
300 issues from the comic that Megan had over there. I did not actually know you had that in that pile. I wonder if that's your Sunday show pile. Anyhow, you got me off my game. So this is a double-size issue. It's going to be a 40-page issue. It has 4 separate stories in it by 4 separate writing teams. And the other really noteworthy thing about it is they're bringing back Bellet. Bellet is going to be in this. You know, she really hasn't been in with Conan since they restarted it in the Marvel Universe. She had her own little thing, but not with Conan. And, you know, Conan, he spent time on the seas with her. She's like the queen of the seas. And I think that, I don't know if it's going to be a flashback story or what, but it's going to be in there. There's several very cool covers for this. So this is the regular cover. Then we have the Peach Momoko cover.
I really like this one.
We get to see Peach Momoko's version of just everything, bit by bit. Like somebody needs to come up with some VR glasses you can put on and see the world. The Peach Momoko vision. Here is the GARCIN variant. So I know GARCIN, he's done a few of these for other books where it's bits of like
a collage piece.
Yep. And lastly, the Panosian variant with Bellet, looking very cool.
Okay, next up is from Ablaze Comics. It is He Who Fights with Monsters. One of the most noteworthy things about this, it is the same artist as on Something Is Killing the Children. So getting some new work. So that is the main cool thrust of this. But this is set in World War II, and it is a supernatural setting as well. So if you like World War II content, it doesn't seem like it's a complete reimagining. It's just World War II with supernatural monsters. And based on the solicitation, it did sound like that the monsters actually might be helping some of the victims in this situation and not be on the bad guy's side. I know a lot of times you see World War II stuff that's got like the horror elements in it, and that just makes it more horrifying if that's possible. But this time, I don't know yet though. We'll see. But they did seem to be that the monsters might be their only hope. So, He Who Fights with Monsters. And we have a couple more covers for it. So that was the A cover by the artist, DELLEDERA. Then we have the Lee B cover. Also the Quintana C cover. And lastly up, Moy is our D cover.
Yeah, we were talking about, this is an homage cover. We think Fantastic Four, like it's on the tip of my mind.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember who is in that position.
I know
like
it's Fantastic Four based on the font.
The font, yeah.
But you guys let us know in the comments. Tell us what this is paying homage to.
Next up, the return of a character that, I mean, where's he been? Actually, in Empire, the big event last year, Khazar actually died in that. So they are bringing him back. It's always funny to see like Marvel's rolling. Like we have Darkhawk who makes us a return with the miniseries. It's like they want to keep all of their balloons in the air. With all their characters. Like don't want to forget about any of them. So this is Khazar, Lord of the Savage Land #1. This is going to be a miniseries by Zach Thompson and Jermaine Garcia. And in it, Zach Thompson actually mentioned he wanted to kind of re-envision, not like starting over, but tell a story of Khazar much like the Immortal Hulk. So how that kind of took the character in a weird new direction. He wants to do that with this as well. So Khazar comes back from the dead, and this time he has what they say are terrifying new powers. So it kind of gives me the impression that like maybe not all is right with our main hero, but you're going to see him teamed up with Sheena the She-Devil. They're the classic Savage Land duo going up against some new villains. Another book where Marvel is... now Marvel's trying to add to their mythos of a character.
Right, yep.
Because Khazar hasn't really been in too much in quite a while, but they said they're trying to go back to some of the pulp roots of the character, but stay true to the classic Jack Kirby and Stan Lee vision for it. So I'm all for this. I think there needs to be more of these like pulp jungle characters and everything. We haven't got a lot of that. And who knows, this could end up being kind of like Conan, how they re-envisioned these classic characters. So this is our A cover. Then we have the Cabal variant, very creepy.
So that's almost like Headhunter. You know, you're
Yeah.
holding the head. Yeah, that is really creepy.
Then, of course, we have
There it
the
is.
Peach Momoko variant.
Put on the Momoko glasses.
Really cool.
Yeah, just everything has motion to it.
Yeah.
You can almost feel it moving like in a circle.
And then we have the Silva Stormbreakers variant.
All right, so our next segment is other number ones. These are also very noteworthy. It's just we only pick out so many to feature, and then we tell you about the other ones. So the first one is, it's not exactly number one. It's, you know, they keep calling these number ones, but this is the second to last part, I believe, of Extreme Carnage event. So this is Extreme Carnage Toxin. First we had Scream, then we had Phage, then we had Lasher. Riot is on the way, and now we have Toxin. If you can't tell those characters were not created in the 1990s by their names, I don't know. I guess you just don't know about enough about the 90s.
It's going to be like Chains and, I don't know, Spike.
Yeah. So, Laser Skull. But, yeah, all the Life Foundation Venoms have gotten their own one-shot, but they've all connected in this Extreme Carnage event. I've been enjoying it. The main thing I've been saying is it's hard to tell what Carnage's endgame plan is, but that is what the story's supposed to be about. You're not supposed to quite know. He has been taking them over one by one and separating them from their hosts. So the hosts have had to fight back, some of which have not made it out very well. So who is the host of Toxin? Toxin actually has a newer host than he did in the 90s. It is a teenager named Bren Waters. So Bren's first appearance, in case you want to know these things, was in King in Black, Planet of the Symbiotes #3.
Wow.
Yep. So that's why you come to our show. We know all this stuff. So that was his first appearance, and now we're going to get to see him again. We're going to find out what happens when Carnage tries to take Toxin away from him. So here is the regular cover. Here is the Johnson connecting variant.
That one got real close to the camera. They've usually been like full body shots. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Toxin, back off.
Yep. And lastly, here is the Scotty Young cover.
I like how he reimagines them, and they all have kind of like quirky shapes and everything.
It's like sort of a Muppet shape.
It's
Yeah.
very Muppet. He's like Cookie Monster.
All right, next up is Star Trek Mirror War. This is exploring the fan favorite concept of the mirror universe, in which your favorite characters are not quite as they seem. So in particular, this is going to follow a lot of Picard, and instead of him being altruistic, a very heroic character, he is going to be more cruel, more ambitious, more cunning. So it'll be interesting to see all these different versions. So this is actually going to be an 8-part series. It's going to start with the Zero Alpha, which is going to be more about Picard, and it's an 8-part series that's going to have interspersed tie-ins that feature each character. We're going to see them very different. So a different, you know, I've seen a lot of Star Trek, but I really haven't seen a lot of the Mirror Universe stuff. So this will be interesting, and I know we need to order, mental note to us, we need to order more of these than we typically do, because we, another, just like the video game comics, Star Trek fans, they'll come out of the woodwork for Star Trek comics, so don't expect this to be sitting on the shelf because people hear about this and they'll come grab it up.
We'll have to have a mirror watch party where everybody has to wear the goatee.
Dude, I was about to
Yes.
say, my main knowledge of the Mirrorverse is Spock with a goatee.
Yep.
I wish Picard had an afro. Like, even the mirror world, he can't grow
Just
hair.
some hair. He's got ripped freaking muscles though. So okay, that was our A cover.
I'm getting blinded by a mirror right here.
I'm crushing on that bald head and muscles. All right, so this is our Ebony cover, B cover for this series. So, like I said, 1 through 8 with interspersed one-shots.
Next up, we are going back to Army of Darkness, this time in 1979. So, I mean, talk about just, like, they've explored so much of Ash and the Army of Darkness world. Ash hardly gets a moment to rest. This time he is sent back to 1979, back with the disco and in New York when kind of it wasn't as nice of a place. It was a little more seedy, more crime going on. And in this one, street gangs have found the Necronomicon and have used him to kind of set up warrior style all their different gangs. Like some are vampires, some are zombies, and of course, Ash and his chainsaw hand must come in there and do some cleanup work, clean up on Isle, New York. So, sounds really fun. Just a mini series, and this is our A cover. Then, of course, we had the Sodium variant. It's been doing it for all of these. Mm-hmm. Then we have the Yoon variant.
See the boomstick.
If he had any other kind of gun, people would be flipping out. It would be the Mirrorverse version of Ash with a sniper rifle or something. And then we have the Sager variant. It's a really cool one.
All right, so the new book from Aftershock is called Search for Who. So on the left there, we have who I believe is our main character. His name is Aaron Tse. That's spelled T-S-E. And this is a book about a son who learns that his parents had some terrible secrets. His parents, they run a bar, and it gets shot up one night, and they get injured. And he thinks that it's just some gang crime gone wrong, but he finds out that, no, they ran from China. They were in some terrible blood feud with another family. So he has to travel to China and try to figure out what's going on because he feels like his parents, his whole family, they're all going to get killed unless he can settle this blood feud. And it looks to me like he gets in some of his own troubles too by the look of the screen there. So that is the general premise for this new Aftershock book. Just the one cover. There's an incentive cover, but we only do open order covers on this show.
All right, next up is Betty and Veronica Friends Forever Halloween Spooktacular. They're getting us ready for the Halloween season. I suppose it'll be September, early September when this comes out, so they're getting it in time. In this, it is just a one-shot, and they find a magic hat, a witch's hat, that they find it at a thrift store, but they discover that it actually has powers. So what will they do with this magic hat? And I see Sabrina down there in the corner as well. So, Betty and Veronica, Halloween Spooktacular.
All right, now we're going to do our cool covers and other comics.
Starting off, Suicide Squad number 7. This is the Pansika variant. And I'm really excited about this because Ambush Bug, kind of D or E list DC character, Ambush Bug, is joining the Suicide Squad. And he's kind of not necessarily DC's Deadpool, because he's not like as bloodthirsty and foul-mouthed, but he does break the fourth wall. He's been like the narrator for the readers a lot and everything. But he is joining the team to take the Suicide Squad to hell to look for the Rock of Eternity. So I think this sounds really cool. Love to see Ambush Bug back.
It's just a great cover. That cover is going to really stand out in the stands because of the yellow and. So this is Sensational Wonder Woman number 7. This is the Lotte variant. This is also the final issue.
Wow.
So, yep, that's it. They've told all the stories they wanted to tell in this. DC doing some really interesting things with Wonder Woman, kind of peeled her away from the regular universe, and so this let them tell some sort of more of her style stories while she's off in the lands of the gods and the lands of the dead in her regular book. So if you don't want to miss this last issue, here is your chance to order it. And I said this is the Lotte variant.
Okay, the mystery continues with Joker Puzzle Box issue number 2. And we're getting a little jigsaw piece cover here. This is our A cover by Chip Zdarsky. And then we also have the Sean Crystal cardstock variant. So as Joker continues to be in police custody and tell his tales. I'm from Georgia, guys. The words don't come out right.
Next up, we have Batman Urban Legends number 7. This is actually the A cover. by Matina. Usually Matina doing the B covers.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about this one because this is the return of Batman Beyond. His main series ended a little while ago, but return story with Batman Beyond, where Bruce Wayne has actually been murdered in the Batcave, and now Terry McGinnis has to comb Neo Gotham looking for who killed Bruce Wayne. Also in this, the return of another great character, probably a lot of people haven't read, is Batman 1 Million from the 1 Million
Right.
universe.
Wow.
I almost have that next to me.
You could have almost surprised us once again. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I love that they're telling some of these stories for characters that, Batman 1 Million maybe couldn't handle his own series, but we can get a story of it in here.
All right, so this is the Brian Hitch variant for Green Lantern number 6.
Mm-hmm.
A lot going on there.
Yeah.
And also in this issue, a lot is going on. So first up, we have Joe Mullen goes up against Sinestro in this issue, which is really cool. Then next, we have Simon Baz finds out that his old partner, Jessica Cruz, is now a Yellow Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not enough, there's also a part in it, apparently, I've not read this yet, where Kilowog is fighting for his life in the dark sectors, and he doesn't have a ring. So I read the solicitation, I'm like, dang, this is an eventful, I mean, any one of those things could be an issue.
Yeah.
So, but here's the Hitch variant for Green Lantern number 6.
And speaking of Hitch variants, this is the Infinite Frontier number
That's very
6.
cool.
Brian Hitch cardstock variant, of course featuring Darkseid, and will be playing a big role in this issue. So number 6, it's coming to an end.
For a second, my eyes played tricks on me. I had to count the fingers. I was like, is there a 6th finger? But
Just that big.
Yeah, and we did find out the solicitations that came out today what the follow-up series for this is. So everyone have to go check that out because it sounds like Darkseid's coming back in a big way.
Yep.
Next up is Justice League 67. This is the B cover, the Lozano variant. And in this one, the Justice League finally goes up against the United Order, the kind of space-created Justice League.
all right, so this is the A cover, the regular cover for Nice House on the Lake number 4. The solicitation says that a terrifying truth about the house is revealed.
Okay.
Like there
Who
needs to
would
be
have
anything
thought?
else.
Who would have thought? So this is going to follow David. If you remember him, he's kind of the comedian of the group. And more of what the solicitation lets on to. It sounds like David, he just wants to make the group laugh. But if he can't make them laugh, well, maybe he'll be the one to reveal this unbelievable truth. So I think it's interesting when you take a character and they want to make people feel one way, but then you end up putting them in a fish out of water situation. And I think that's where this is going to go. Here is the variant cover by Tiffany Terrell. And this is the cardstock variant. Typically they're $1 more because nicer paper.
It looks like he's doing a stand-up show to like the back of Godzilla or something.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
And as we've seen with all the variant covers, they always make sense once you read the issue.
That makes it even scarier.
And
All right, Last Ronin number 4 is finally gonna be coming out. I think I looked this up for a customer the other day. We were gonna see when it was totally gonna be finished, and it's like December of this year is when number 5 is coming out. So, despite the fact that we have so many people pulling this, we always run out on the shelves. I always have to order more. So please let your store know. This series is still going on. It's still coming out. This is issue number 4, the A cover. The series has only had A covers and then like retailer incentives. So this will be the cover that you're looking for number 4.
Next up, it's kind of hard to tell with this one, but this is Unbelievable Unteens number 2. The issue 1 just came out this past week, of course, from Jeff Lemire in the world of Black Hammer. His kind of Teen Titans group, but of course with all the Black Hammer stuff, it has a weird twist to it. So this is your A cover, and then you have your Linux B cover.
so it looks like they just didn't have the trade dress on it in
Yeah.
time. So, okay, right. This is issue 3 of Canto 3 Lionhearted. very popular series with a popular character. Well, his third series. It all connects, though. It's all just sort of a great big story. So this is the A cover. We like to show a lot of number 2s and 3s just to remind people, if you're digging it, tell your comic store, because once issue 3, 4, 5 hit, we start lowering our orders down to just subscribers, maybe one for the wall. So you don't want to miss out. Do yourself a favor, do your store a favor, and always add things you like to your pull list.
All right, this is the Me You Love in the Dark. We're actually starting off with the number 1 second printing here. I'm surprised we did sell out of this. We ordered a lot. It's Scotty Young's new series. He's not doing the artwork for it, but he is writing it. The story, the solicitation said it's Stephen King mixed with Neil Gaiman, and I would agree with that. I read issue 1. It's very art forward. A lot of world building going on about this artist who essentially is looking for inspiration. She's kind of struggling to try to make her career and livelihood out of being an artist, so she moves into a haunted house, and spoiler, not really. We're at issue number 2 now, guys. The ghost talks back to her at the end of issue 1, so the ghost is definitely present in this story. So if you missed it, this is the second printing that's going to be coming out along with the issue number 2. So we're going to get more of the ghost, I'm sure, in this issue. This is just a 5-part miniseries, so go ahead, if you like number 1, add it to your list. It's going to be here and gone before you know it.
Next up is a really nice variant for Deadly Class number 48. And this one is by Mirka Andolfo. For all you, I don't know what we call Mirka Andolfo fans.
Andolphians.
Dolphins.
Andolphins.
And dolphins.
Andolphiacs. Okay, so this is the Allison variant for 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton number 4. Talk about getting backstabbed.
He doesn't care. He's still tipping his hat.
Yeah.
So if you're enjoying the series, this is a pretty neat variant that you might want to know about. Here's your chance to order it.
All right, Not All Robots number 2. This is the tale about robots have taken over our workforce. We humans don't need to do anything anymore, and can we have a peaceful coexistence with them? This series actually made the top 10 this past week, so I assume a lot of people will be looking for the rest of the series, so it's a good time to add it to your list. If you missed number 1 or if you did like it, now's your chance.
Next up, I know we haven't got number 1 yet, but here is number 2 for Dead Box. And I'm really excited about this series. The more I read about it and hear about it, I think this one's going to be a pretty big hit. So in this small town where there's this Dead Box, which is kind of like a Red Box movie rental thing, people, when they rent the movies, find that the movies oddly mirror their lives in kind of a horrific way. Well, in this one, a swap meet throws a marriage into crisis, but they need to go to the Dead Box and get the healing power of a rom-com. So it sounds really fun. I don't know what it has to do with a monkey getting a monkey movie or a banana-centric movie. I don't know, but I'm excited to see because it sounds like this is going to be crazy. So this is the A cover, and then we have the Howl Bee cover, which doesn't necessarily look like a rom-com to me, but you never know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they are forcing us to get our orders for this before issue number 1 comes out, and this is the time where if a series is a hit, we retailers don't order a lot because we'll look at how many people have ordered number 1, and it's not many because no one's read it yet. So if you're the sort of person you want to take a chance, or you know this is going to be good, or you want to spec on it, this is the one to order a bunch of because, I mean, it's just not a safe move for us retailers to order a lot of it. So, I mean, we think it sounds cool, so we'll up order a bit, but there's only so much you can do. I mean, what if that issue number 1 stinks?
Yeah.
And it's just a good premise, but it's like terrible. Who knows? All right, so this is the last book you'll ever read, number 1, second print. Number 1 first print has sold out on the distribution level. Doesn't mean that stores are out of it, but it means we can't order any more of it. So they've sent it back for a second print by Cullen Bunn, who writes half of everything right now. and I don't mind that. I don't mind that a bit.
All right, this is Ordinary Gods, number 3, just the A cover. I want to remind you guys this is going on, and that's all I have to say about that. Issue number 3.
Yeah, that's another one. If you're enjoying it, once again, this is when the orders are going to start dipping. So here's a chance to tell your store to put you on it, so you're guaranteed to get issue 3 on.
Next up is Elvira meets Vincent Price. This is for number 2. This is the C cover, the Marquez and Bone variant. And, you know, this series follows Elvira and the ghost of Vincent Price hunting down a lost cult film. So, sounds really fun. And this is, as well, probably not a lot of these are going to be ordered after the number 1 had come out if you don't add it to your list.
I can tell this is a loose homage to the Batman issue. I can't think of the issue number. Once again, let me know in the comments, guys. What is this? It's the one with Batman in the background in the haunted house. I could find it if I had it, but
It's like a cloudy sky, and I know which one you're talking about.
yeah, it's sort of loose, but I can see it.
It's that Neil Adams Batman.
Yeah.
That horror Neil Adams Batman cover. Speaking of horrific covers, Kiss, Phantom Obsession number 2 is available for order. If you didn't think Gene Simmons' tongue was gross enough, they hired an artist to make it even more gross. So I guarantee if you don't ask your store for this, they're not going to get it.
Jason is very disturbed by
We're
it.
not going to get it unless you want this. So
Jason doesn't want to walk by the wall and see it and get
all the
nightmares.
time. Yeah, no.
He hears
no,
voices when he sees it.
I don't need it. So
Okay, this is Elric Dreaming City number 2. This hasn't come out yet either, has it, guys?
correct.
I don't think so. So, this is the first official in chronological order adaptation of Michael Moorcock's cult fantasy saga, Elric. So, yeah, issue number 1 hasn't come out. You haven't got a chance to read it, but I personally am interested in checking the series out. So, I'm going to go ahead and order number 2 for myself. You probably want to do the same, because you may not get it in time if you don't pre-order it. So this is the number 2A cover. We have the C cover by Subic, and then the Tello FOC cover.
Wow, is that supposed to be Elric there? Because he is looking way goth.
Like a female Rick.
So yeah, Elric was created to be sort of the anti-Conan.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a
the
big
white
warrior.
hair.
Yeah, he is a magician. He's very thin and weak. You know, he's not buff. He's a king that has decided to become an adventurer, whereas Conan is an adventurer who later becomes a king. So, and that was all on purpose by Michael Moorcock. He wanted to make the inverse.
Very different, yeah.
So,
Next up, a series I feel bad that I haven't read yet because so many people have picked this up and are loving it. This is Mamo? I kept saying Momo, but
I say Momo, but I don't know.
how do they say it in the book when you listen to the book? How do they pronounce it? But this is number 3, and this is just the A cover, the Millage cover.
all right, so issue number 2 of Trover Saves the Universe is available for order right now, based on the acclaimed video game by Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty fame. So if you like number 1, here's your chance to order number 2.
I've seen that cover before.
I've never
very
seen
similar.
it on anything ever.
Alright, next up is Masters of the Universe Revelation number 3. This tells the true origin of Evelyn, the breakout star of the new Netflix show. So, yeah, and the Netflix show's already over. Technically, you can binge it all. I had a customer who came in and was like, please, I wish you could just order me the rest of these right now. I want to binge the comic series like I binged the show. So, but you have to wait for it to come out. This is, once again, issue number 3. This is the A cover. And then the B cover.
This is cool, too, because there's like a through-line story. It's kind of loose, but by using that, like this last issue, we explored the secret origin of Skeletor, whether it was a lie or not, we never know. But in this one, we're getting Evelyn, and it's kind of stories we haven't got. We kind of have hints of them and everything, but we're going to find out how she started working for Skeletor in this. Next up is Deadpool Black, White, and Blood number 2. So, much like all the other ones, you have separate stories in these, all spotlighting Deadpool, using only black, white, and red. And I thought this one was cool because Daniel Warren Johnson is working on this one. Anytime I see his name pop up on anything, I get excited. So, yeah, definitely want to order this one. It's not as long of a series as some of the other ones that are like it. So, easily consumable. You'll want to get it.
Yeah, issue number 1 was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just let the writers and the artists go buck wild on these.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, it might not be a sort of book it's going to be worth a ton of money, but it's a fun read.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Avengers Tech On number 2 is available for order. So this one's interesting, and this might be one that people seek out because the Avengers meet a new Venom. So Venom is in this. You know, this isn't exactly... We can't tell if it's a canon story or not. It's really weird. They have, you know, the X-Men are in Krakoa and all that. It's like, it seems like it's canon, but...
It could fit in.
Yeah, when does this happen? Well, they meet it is Venom, but they say he is supercharged and out of control. So I think Venom is going to have like a tech on. That's what I suspect. So I don't know that for sure, but from reading about it, I think we're going to see the tech on Venom. And if it's cool enough, I could definitely see people coming out to grab that.
Yeah, I'm interested too because reading the number 1, it almost feels like, I mean, it's kind of pseudo Power Rangers and Sentai related. I was getting the impression maybe Venom is going to be like kaiju attacking a city, like a super giant version of him.
Okay.
No matter what it is, I think it's going to be really cool, though.
Yeah, and I mean, so these are made with Bandai. Bandai helps make this, so you know that means they could do toys.
Yep.
And so there's also the Momoko variant. I was hoping the variant would show Venom, you know, then we would know, but
they're wanting to hold it back for the big reveal.
They do. So.
All right, up next is I want to say Avengers Defenders number 2. So now that the team is together, we're going to find out who Omnimax is. Is he another world devourer like Galactus? Maybe that's why his mom is on the team. Who knows? We'll find out in Defenders number 2.
Mama Galactus.
Mama Galactus.
Yeah, it's not 100% confirmed she's Galactus's mother. You see her right there on the cover. You know, you can see the resemblance of just sort of some of the outfit, the coloring. So I hope they confirm it this issue. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. It's a really interesting Defenders team, and you see in the lower left, that is a Cloud, who was on the original Defenders team, who is like a living nebula, like a space nebula in a character. Seeing the team put together was really cool, but now it's like I want to hear from each of them.
So, in case you didn't know, this is going to be a 5-part series, but this is our A cover for number 2. Then we also have the Jimenez variant, and then the Rodriguez teaser variant. It's a really cool perspective.
They're teasing with their hands.
All right, so here are 2 variants for Miles Morales' 10th anniversary. They're doing those all through a bunch of different series. So this is actually Shang-Chi number 4, but it's the Miles Morales 10th anniversary variant by by Clark. Yes, that's it. It's the Clark variant. And, you know, so the big thing that happened in Shang-Chi number 3 is he got a sister. His sister, Zidane, and I don't have it to show you, but on the main cover, she's on it because she has joined his family. She's a mutant. She's now part of the comic. And unlike the family, who are all kind of villainous, she left the family because she is not a villain, more like Shang-Chi, although she doesn't really like or trust him either. So I think she might be sort of a breakout character. So you might want to grab this one, if not for this cool variant cover, but because she's in it. There's also a Miles Morales 10th anniversary variant for Daredevil number 34. This is the Lopez variant. And this continues the lockdown storyline where Daredevil's in prison. Meanwhile, Bullseye is reigning terror on New York. If you've been keeping up with Daredevil, Bullseye has gone crazy. And, you know, let's see, what's his power? Shooting guns? That's really, really bad. So
I'm interested, too, because this Miles suit he's wearing on the cover doesn't necessarily look like his new suit. It's the colors are off. It's like they let the artist just, like, make up your own Miles
Yeah,
costume.
correct. This is definitely not the new suit that we saw at the end of the latest issue of Miles.
Still cool looking.
Yeah.
Next up is Star Wars Adventures number 7. This is the B cover. And what's exciting about this is Boba Fett has not been in Star Wars Adventures yet. You would think this is the second Star Wars Adventure series. You would have come out the gate, issue 1, Boba Fett all the time, but nope. So this is going to be a cool issue, bringing him in there and telling an early story original trilogy of Boba Fett versus Han. So great series that is all ages, but not younger. Like, it's not just for kids. Has a better chance of exploring other timelines and other things that the main Marvel series doesn't. So this is the B cover. And then we have Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters.
Boba Fett's on everything.
Yep. Number 4. This is one of the blueprint variants. So the last one we had was Bosk with his ship. This time we have Boba Fett with Slave 1. I'm excited to get all of these. Then we have the John Tyler Christopher, of course, the action figure variant with IG-88. And I love, if you look at it, they spell out IG-88. And then in parentheses, just put IG-88. In case you needed to know how to pronounce letters and numbers.
All right, time for the last part of our show. It is other printings and graphic novels.
Woo! All right, starting out with, man, this looks quite different. Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 1, second printing. I think when people saw that cover of number 1, it just immediately got pre-ordered by so many people, and it's gone. So if you want to read it, now is your chance. Second printing.
Next up, this beautiful cover. No, this is Star Wars High Republic number 7, the second printing. This one was big because it has the first appearance of Darth Krall. You'll have to read it to find out, is he going to stay around too long? We'll have to see. But also the first appearance of Orla Jarrini, who is a new character to the High Republic universe that seems like she's going to be sticking around. Seems to play a pretty important role in it.
I know we say this every show, but when they don't have the covers ready, they're always underordered. So if you're the store, you want to get all the covers, you're going to have to ask for this. If you go in your store and they don't have it, it's going to be because they didn't have a cover, so they didn't order it. So this is us letting you know to tell your store that you want this. And with us, you have till Sunday at 5 p.m.?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. And then you're guaranteed to get it.
And also, Star Wars Jabba the Hutt, number 1, second printing. I think this is interesting because usually we get the announcement of second printing pretty close after the release.
Right.
This has been a few weeks. We've gotten the second one-shot since then. But I guess just people kept ordering and reordering. So that means this one's pretty big. So this is the first appearance of Diva Lumpop, who is spanning all of these issues, these one-shots, and War of the Bounty Hunters. She's also been around from the High Republic, so we're still kind of waiting to find out the full extent of her presence in the Star Wars universe. So you'll also want to get this one, because I have a feeling that this is going to be a hard one to get after the fact.
I'm betting they're going to put her on this cover. And if it's a good one, that's going to be one to hold on to. So... All right, so this is Cold Dead War, number 1, has gone to second print. This is by George C. Romero, who is the son of George A. Romero, of course, famous from Night of the Living Dead. So if you missed the first print on this, here is the second print, still available to order.
I can tell why she's cold.
All right, God Killer Tomorrow's Ashes is going back for yet another printing. This is the number 1 third print. And then we have, to follow it up, the number 2 second print. So you get both 1 and 2 here.
Next up, I mean, man, they got the same artist for all of these covers. This is Barbaric number 1, cover A of the third printing. And this is big because this was Vault's most ordered comic, was Barbaric number 1. I read it, I loved it. Super fun, just kind of like mix, I don't know, Conan and Deadpool and all the craziness. We sold out of it, and We got the second print and the deluxe print. Now we're getting a third printing.
All right, for our last thing, I promise we have a cover. It is Ha Ha, the trade paperback. So this collects all 6 issues of Ha Ha by W. Maxwell Prince. Of course, he became very popular and famous for his work on Ice Cream Man. And so he said, oh, you want really depressing stories about characters that are somewhat fun but creepy? I shouldn't have started with Ice Cream Man. I should have started with clowns. Let's go ahead and back and do the stories. Now, these are great. I read the whole series. I quite enjoyed it. You have to be the sort of person to like that, though, which I think a lot of people are. So I think at this point, people know if they like it or not. Now you can get it collected. I think reading it all together is even better than month after month. Yeah. And if you have any friends that are a little too happy, just slip this on their coffee table.
What do you think the next thing would be? So, what is a happy thing that he can turn horrible? We had Ice Cream Man, now we have clowns. Is it going to be like animatronic animals that sing and dance at Chuck E. Cheese? Or
right.
probably maybe like mascots would be great, like at Disney.
I
would love to see just really depressed people.
McDonald Land characters.
Oh man, really depressed McDonald Land
You're
characters.
gonna sell these ideas to him.
I need to keep my mouth shut because these are all too good.
Alright guys, that is our show. Thank you so much for watching Comics from the Future. It's what we call this little show that we do. So, if you haven't already, take a second and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And just so you know, in case you're watching this Friday night, tonight, Friday the 13th, and you are local to us at all, we'll be having Free Comic Book Day here tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. So, wish us all a good night's rest.
It's going to be a long day. Long but fun day.
If you need to order any of the books you saw here that you think you might like and you want to order them from us, we're going to leave some info on the screen for you. You can get in touch with us, contact us, and we will hook you up. Anything else?
I think that is it. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on Comics from the Future.